Everybody fired up in here? Are you fired up over here, baby? Oh, yeah. Man, who's jacked? Yeah, that's it. Thank you. I got my cheerleader, Paul Kopecky, down here. Brian McGrath, thank you, guys. Seriously, who's fired up in here? Stand up again. Stand up. Get excited. Come on. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. This is your weekend. This is your weekend. Man, you know what we're celebrating? We are celebrating you owning a business of your own. Who's jacked about that? Man, this is good stuff. Wow, I'm pumped. I'm jacked. So I don't know why they put us after Joe and then Derek Kosak, because Joe, you know, you got Mr. Baseball. I don't have Joe's stance yet. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I spent the week with him. No disrespect, but I don't have that, you know. And then Derek's up here, Mr. Professional Athlete, and I'm looking at Sejal. I'm like, I didn't do anything professionally. Seriously, I was a skateboarder, right? Anybody kind of, you know, I think they brought us up because we're part of Worldwide Hope Builders. What do you think?
Kinda, yeah.
Right? Well, I'll speak for myself.
Same for me.
You were way more than that, you know. But anyways, we are so fired up to be with all of you tonight. And yes, it is Summit 2023. Hard to believe we're here. And you know, it's funny because our journey, at least my journey in business, started 31 years ago. Yes, 31 years ago. And you know, I've actually been around the business for almost 36, 37 years. And many of y'all have heard this term this weekend. This is a family business. And you know, for me, the dream was sparked well before I was 18 years old, because my mom and dad, Conti and Hemigala, started the business when I was 12 years old. And I remember them seeing the business plan on our back porch and how excited they got about being able to start a business of their own. And anybody fired up about having some children and that you're building this thing and you're being an example and that you get to set the tone for your family? And that's what happened to me. I caught the dream to owning my own business long before I was even 18. So I remember turning 18 years old. I got started in business, and I was working at a local sunglass shop, right? And, you know, I started my little business there and had some fun. I met Sejal building my business. So, you know, I was taught by Larry Winters, all good things come from, you know, building depth in your business. Well, I found my wife building depth in my business, right? So, yeah, so it was awesome. And we got married. We will celebrate 25 years of marriage this December. Amen. Amen. We're jacked about that. We got married at 11 and 12 years old, okay? Just kidding. And we do have two amazing young men in our home. Archer is now 12, and he's 5'5" or 5'6", and looking at me eyeball to eyeball. I said, don't look at me like that, son. Okay, so, and Eli's our 8-year-old, and he's 4'6" already or something?
Yes, he's soon about to start
They are
passing
my
me.
kids,
Hi.
in case they are my kids.
Stop. You didn't give our backgrounds.
You're wondering what she just whispered to me, aren't you? Don't you hate it when people do that on stage? Like, okay. But our backgrounds, again, Sejal was a college student when she got in business. I was working at a local sunglass shop in retail when I saw the business. And, you know, for us, you know, I want to start by saying this to you. I think everything begins, and I know you've heard this already, but everything begins with hope, right? I think if you're here this weekend, you know, it's been made very clear to you, you're here because it's an optional part of you learning how to build your Amway business successfully. That's what the purpose of this weekend is, to teach you, to inspire you to build your Amway business. And that, honestly, once I kind of came to our first event, you know, really what happened to me was that hope that was stirring in me, right? How many of y'all have always had hope stirring in you? Something you wanted to do with your life, and then you couple that with this awesome Amway business, and all of a sudden you've got a partnership there, right? You've got a partnership between your dreams, your aspirations, what you want to accomplish with a business of your own. And that's what we got excited about. You know, we got excited about celebrating on weekends like this free enterprise, the ability to own your own business. And that's what Sage and I, when we started our journey, that's what we got excited about. You know, we personally knew there was no, free lunch. There was no, pie in the sky. This was not a lottery ticket. We understood that from the very beginning. We knew there'd be a little bit of work involved. We knew that there was gonna be some things we'd have to learn. I personally did not come into the business equipped to run this business. I came into this business as a very shy, timid, skateboarder. If you say, well, why did you pick skateboarding as your sport? Because it was the one thing I could do that didn't involve other people. And I'm being dead serious. I remember seeing the plan, and my dad asked, are you excited? That's what he asked me. I said, that's how he talks. I mean, I'm trying, what are you doing? Okay. But I said, I am absolutely excited about this. Teach me how to do this without people. And he's like, you cannot be my son. He just couldn't believe it. But honestly, man, I'm just telling you, the whole process of getting my business started was very reluctant. And I didn't personally, and I don't know if you can relate to this, but I didn't really like any aspect of the business. I wasn't excited about selling a product. I wasn't necessarily excited about sponsoring people because I just was afraid of my own shadow. And to me, I think that as we got started in business, what I realized is we didn't need to be equipped with everything. We knew that as we started this journey, and if we were willing to put one foot in front of the other, that things would work out. And I just want to tell you that in this room because maybe you're in here and say, man, I don't talk like those people on stage. Trust me, I get you. Every one of these diamonds has sat in different seats in events and coliseums like this, wondering themselves whether they could do this or not. And see, my coach, my mentor, Larry Winters, has coined this phrase. And I believe this phrase sums up, really, I believe, the purpose we have things like this. And his phrase is, everything rises and falls on belief. And if you're saying, well, what's the purpose of us coming together like this? Our goal and Sagel's goal and every diamond's goal in here, every person's goal in here that touches the mic, whether they're an emerald or a platinum or ruby, is to instill in you the capability that you have to build this business. And if we can just spend a few minutes with you to let you know that's possible for you, that's what we're here for. And so I'm gonna let Sagel share with you. We're just gonna talk to you tonight. And I tell you something else that I think is a lot of fun. I know you hear about a lot of the things people have to go through, but I also think you can have a lot of fun along the way. Anybody have fun coming here this weekend? Right? I think that the journey to success and the journey to building your own future should be fun. You should enjoy the process. And we've enjoyed every step of it. But, Sage, take it away. I'm excited for you. And, we're having fun. What I wanted to tell you is one of the coolest things you get to do in this business, especially if you're married, you get to build something together. Yeah. And I don't know, man, I think it's just a fun feeling. I probably some of the most enjoyable times we've ever had was driving home at night after showing somebody this business and seeing hope and opportunity light up in their eyes and us talking about how we're gonna serve them, how we're gonna help them, what are we gonna do, to ensure we help them succeed and win. And I'm telling you, this is how we built our life. We built our life around this business. We built our life around this team. So Sage, take it away. Love you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You can tell we are very passionate about our business, and we didn't do our background real well. We are sponsored by Manx Parents, Kantin Hamigala, and our mentors and coaches are Larry and Pam Winters, and thank you so much for everything that you guys have poured into us. We're not here by ourselves. This entire LTD team has built us up, and you guys are part of who we are, and we are not here by ourselves at all. And I just want to say that to you guys out there. And it's an honor to stand in front of you and take, 30 minutes of time and share with you. And thank you for giving us your undivided attention, because none of your leaders take it for granted that you paid a price to come here. You've bought a ticket, optional or not, but you did it voluntarily, and you're sitting in this room today and you're paying attention and hanging on to every word about the future of your business, because you have an incredible opportunity in your hand and you want to do something with it. And that's where I was. I was there when I saw that opportunity. And some of you guys might have heard my audio and some might not have heard my story, but my dad saw the business. I was 19 years old, and I remember we'd been in this country for like 4 years, and I remember walking into our tiny little apartment, and my mom was like, shh, there is somebody sitting at the kitchen table, and they're showing Daddy a business plan, and we might have a business. And me and my sister and my mom were 3 women, like the Little Women, from the book, whatever. If you read books and stuff like that, you understand. But we were like these 3 huddled up, excited girls in the great land of America, the land of opportunity, came here with this dream. If you just say the word America, it's like everything is possible. Everything. If you live in this country and you've taken that for granted, you probably don't know it, but you see, I didn't live in this country. The name America represented greatness, possibilities, and then we were here finally, and we were in a tiny little home as immigrants. We were starting out like every other person, whether now or on that ship that they came at Statue of Liberty started. We started just like that in today's world, but we were excited. Those dreams haven't died down, and those dreams were alive with me. That promise still exists, and it existed with me. And I was excited. Me, my mom, I can't tell you the value of an opportunity. I cannot begin to tell you. Listen, we didn't have any money. We came with 8 bags because we were a family of 5, and our youngest one was too young to be called a passenger. So each one of us had 2 bags each, and that's how we came to America. We came to Detroit. There was nothing in our house. No pots and pans. We slept on the floors. This is not a story of woe be upon me. Look at how well I've done. I'm talking about the value of an opportunity, the same one that I have and the same one you're sitting with. I'm talking about that. And when we were sitting there, we were in this, everything in our house was secondhand, or somebody told my dad, you don't have enough money. But people in America, if they don't want something, they just push it out to the curb, and the trash people, they come and get it. So we'd be walking, and we would see a table, and we'd be like, that would fit in our family, in our house. So just pick it up. We'd see a couch that somebody got rid of, and we'd say, let's take this in. I didn't have a bed until I married Mike. Praise God, he got me a bed. I had 2 mattresses stacked up that we got from somewhere. And with that came much more. But anyways, so what I'm trying to tell you is that we didn't have those things. And then all of a sudden you come in, we're working jobs. My dad worked in car subsidiary factory for $4.75 an hour. My mom sticking, dashboards, glue in her fingers, and tired, working overtime. And she made $4.25 an hour. I started working at 15 at Wendy's, and I had a secondary job at my uncle's restaurant making $2 an hour. Now you place an opportunity. The Amway opportunity. My gosh, are you joking with me? It changed the trajectory of my life. It gave me the command to steer my future in the direction I want. There's hope, and I cannot tell you, the seed of the possibilities is sprouted. I started to see things that I didn't know how I was gonna make possible. We were living paycheck to paycheck. I didn't even start with a big dream. I was busy. I was working 2 jobs. I was printing T-shirts, and I was a pharmacy tech. And I was I wanted to graduate early. I wanted to become a doctor. So I had a 3-year plan. I was taking 16 to 19 credit hours a semester. I was a busy person. I came here to chase the American dream. I'm not ashamed to say that. I was already working that hard. I had very little time left, and Amway opportunity was the right opportunity for me. If you saw this opportunity and you're sitting in here, you're saying, this is probably something I can do. This can work for me, and trust me you when I say it worked for me. Now, it's not a pie in the sky. It took some dedication, but my goodness, 8 years of med school was gonna take hard work and dedication. So what did Sejal Gala do? She simply transferred the work ethic into her own enterprise. And then to find out, guys, it was backed by a system of education and development, and I was gonna be in business for myself, but not by myself. I remember at 19 coming to a coliseum like this. I left straight from school. We left Thursday night. We drove all night and we came here. Somebody said, go to this event. You'll hear something before you go to med school. That event, I saw a physician up on the stage. He was highlighted as a success story of growing his business. And I thought, well, I'm getting ready to become a physician. But you know what? That story related to me. And I said, all right. I remember seeing somebody up there, and I remember thinking in my mind's eye, I can do that and I can be there. Man, the value of this business. Don't waste it. You know what? Put time, effort, and energy into something, because this business is worth building. Because wherever you want to go, little options, listen to me. Life doesn't change by big leaps and bounds. It changes in the little things that, add up. For me, it was $500 for a book. I remember thinking, how am I gonna fit this Amway business into my schedule? But you know what? It fit into my schedule. Between my classes, a pre-med schedule, a chemistry and a biology class, I could retail my products. My gosh, $50 in my pocket, and I was a happy 19-year-old. I felt so empowered. It was amazing. Still is just as amazing. I love building this business. It gets better and better and better. The corporation, the products, the bonuses, the rewards keep getting better and better and better. It does take effort. It does take skill set building. It does take commitment and work ethic, but those are universal principles. You're gonna need them in any endeavor you pursue.
That's good stuff. You crushed it. Stay right here. All right, let me say, we got a couple minutes left with you guys, and we could talk about a lot of different things, but there are so many great things that we've learned in this journey of building our business. And I think you hear it all the time, but probably the most important thing we learned was that it was gonna take work. And write this one word down, enthusiasm. And see, instead of thinking that the work has to be perfect, just do the work with enthusiasm. And I remember the day I saw the business plan, the next day I went and showed it to my boss. I didn't even know what I was showing her, but I showed it with enthusiasm, and she was the first person I ever sponsored in business. You don't understand the power of your enthusiasm and your expectation. And when you have that, it is powerful. And so, I want you to realize this: breakthroughs are a result of action, not chance. You sitting here isn't the breakthrough. The breakthrough is not gonna come because you're sitting here. The breakthrough is gonna come because you are going to act on the information that you receive from here, and that action you take, not the chance, but the action you take starts to produce a result in your life. And see, we don't apologize for doing the work. None of these diamonds will apologize for doing the work. We understood that was gonna be part of it. The other part we realize is that you're gonna need to develop, here's another word, resilience. You will need to develop some resilience in your life. And you know, it's funny, we see so many people in our own business that struggle and have to overcome different things. You know, we have a lady, Miriam Yasidareja out of Texas. She's got, you know, their founders platinums, and she came here from the country of Indonesia and could barely speak English. She could barely speak English. And I remember when her and Yanni, she would share the story with us that every time she went out with Yanni to go talk to people about their Amway business, she would hide because she was so scared to even look somebody in the eye, afraid of what they would think of her if she opened her mouth with broken English. And you know what's crazy today? Today, she is the reason that they have someone that went platinum in their business because she met them at a Barnes & Noble. And how cool is that, right? See, listen, guys, your success is going to come in those daily wins when no one is looking, when no one is paying attention, and you're going to need to develop resilience. And I could tell you story after story of every one of these diamonds. If you listen to their stories, you know what it's packed full of? Resilience. Them willing to go through the fight. And you know, here's what I want to leave you with. I want to leave you with two things. And that is that this business, I learned this from a man named Bill Britt the day when I came to an event like this, and he said, your success in this business will be in direct proportion to the number of people you're willing to help. From the very beginning of you starting your business, whether it's you supporting a customer, whether it's you supporting a new IBO, that your success in this business will be tied to the number of people that you're willing to help. And see, I did not understand serving when I came into this business. I didn't understand what it looked like to just go out there and give this thing away and give this thing away. And you know what's funny, guys? You know, Pam was, I think it was at the Diamond meeting, and Pam was talking about just, you know, sowing seed and just saying, hey, just go do the work and do it with a good attitude. You don't know what's gonna happen. And you know, pretty cool that, you know, just a quick story, we have, a leg that we had started in September of 2001. And that leg has always been, there's been people in that leg for a long time. But what I didn't know is back in 2001, there was a kid named Travis May who was in middle school. He was in middle school at the time, and his mom would say, hey, you need to go upstairs because grown-ups are talking about business. Well, what's crazy is Travis and Kristen became our 7th leg that in silver. Okay, they just accomplished the silver level, and he said, I remember you showing the plan in our house when I was in middle school. So do you understand the ripple effect of the work that you do in your business? Anybody fired up to go out there and serve more people? And here's the last thing. This is what this team taught me. That's what all these leaders have taught me. Everything we do, and guys, I'm gonna tell you this, what made this special for Sejal and I is this team and this Amway business gave us purpose. You know what happened to me when I came into this room? I developed a purpose. And you know what that was? I'm gonna tell you what I believe the purpose of every diamond in this room is, and I won't speak for them, but I'll tell you what it is for us, is it became empowering people to live their best life. That became our purpose. And today, if you were to say, well, what fires you up today? I can tell you what fires us up today is helping a new person get started. So fulfill your purpose. We love you guys. LTD 100K.
For existing IB